Hey everybody, it's Lisa, Grammy Midwife. So today I'm doing a canning video. Haven't had one of those out in a while. So what are we canning? Hang on. Pineapples! So I bought a case of pineapples from my grandson. And so now I gotta figure out what to do with them. So stay tuned. So what I'm doing first, because this is going to be a no waste. We're not going to have any waste whatsoever from the pineapple. Now, you're probably asking, how am I going to do that? Well, that's why it was wet and I'm holding it with a towel, because I've had it soaking in vinegar water. I wash all my vegetables and fruits before I start processing them, because I like to use the peelings, the cores, and such as that, like for scrap jelly or for vinegars and different things like that. So these have been soaking for about 10 minutes in a vinegar water solution. So now I'm going to take them, and the first thing that I'm going to do, because this is no waste, and you're going to see other people just go ahead and cut their pineapples, what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist and pull this off, because guess what we're going to do with these? We're going to plant them, but first we're going to root them. So I'm going to take these off, throw them back over in the sink. So hey, I actually grew a pineapple that a neighbor gave me when I moved back here, and the fruit finally produced, although I don't think I fertilized it enough, so it wasn't very big, but it gave me a humongous crown that I was actually able to separate into 5 or 6, I think, different pineapple plants that I rooted. And now I've got 5 of those 6 did definitely root. The 6th one is still working on it. And I got those 5 potted up. So what I'm going to do is, I've got a small greenhouse, and I'm going to put these in their pots in the greenhouse, because we're in December. So it's going to get cold eventually. Right now it's probably 70, 80 degrees outside, and it's December the 8th. But we're supposed to be expecting freezing temperatures the weekend of Christmas, and we're not going to be here. All right, so there's 1 pineapple. There's 2, 3, 4, and 5 that I got off of the pineapple that I grew. All right, so I've got 6 pineapples. So I'm going to focus down here on my stove and get my cutting board. And my handy dandy little pineapple coring and slicing tool. So I need to get something all right, so I'm going to cut the top off like so, and then I'm going to throw that over in the pot. Now I'm going to cut the bottoms off too. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want a clean cut all the way through. push her can on it. So this is a handy dandy tool. If you see Homestead Heart, her pineapple canning video, she uses one of these. Others, you're gonna see the plastic ones. Honestly, I've had the plastic one. I don't like it. I got this one, is just like the one that Mrs. Hart uses on her video. And I got this at Walmart. Her video, she said that she paid like $5 for hers. I paid almost 10 at Walmart. That's how much inflation has hit. But anyway, you'll notice that it's got a little serrated area here, and this will cut, and that is to put on the core. So you just find the core and press it down, and then all you have to do is just push and twist. And this slices it and cores it at the same time. I was watching a video that the Needy Homesteader did from years ago, and hers, look at that, isn't that beautiful? It just pulls it right out. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this later. So let me get a pot to put those in, because that's not going to go into my scrap pan. Now you can take this little handle off, and uh-oh, I broke it. Broke my pretty pineapple. And then this will actually, don't do it that way. You can get something that will fit in the end of it and push the core right out. And the core I'm going to put over here. And then I will slice down the sides of this, and those will slide right off. Now, I was actually thinking about doing slices of pineapple, but I changed my mind. So I won't be doing that. But I will get a bowl to put all of them in. Matter of fact, let me just take this out. Put it in the sink. Okie doke. I'll take my next one. And you know, you can, and this just pops right back on. You just push the button and it pops right back on, just like that. If you get a little bit of the eyes from the pineapple in here, it's okay. I mean, the eyes of the pineapple are not going to hurt you. You don't want the core in it. And the reason you don't want the core is pineapples are a part of the bromeliad family. And the core, pineapple naturally has bromelain, which bromelain is good for you, but it also makes for, it kind of has a different taste. Now, you can eat the core, but most people don't want to eat the core. And that just slides right off. Put that in there and just keep moving. Oh. get a smaller knife. And I'll trim these up where they got a little over. Got some eyes and stuff on them. It's not a whole lot. I think the rest we're just gonna leave. I'm not really worried about it. But I am gonna heat up my oven to around 200 degrees because I want to heat up my jars. Because if we're pouring boiling water in there, the jars need to be heated. Okay, my video cut off, so I apologize. I had to restart. So right now I'm just slicing everything up. I think the video cut off at where I was putting the jars in the oven to preheat and put my water on to boil. So I've just been cutting up little chunks, and I was also had given shout outs to the channels that I watched to learn how to can pineapple. Now, a lot of the channels that I watch are not, they don't necessarily use USDA methods, and that's fine. I mean, if you're comfortable doing that, it's perfectly okay. But, and here's where I will put in my disclaimer. Some of the methods I use are not strictly by the USDA guidelines. So this is how I do, and for entertainment purposes. And if you choose to do it, you are canning at your own risk. Okay, I think all of them are cut up pretty much. So I was saying I was going to do slices, and this pineapple is a little riper than I thought it was, because looking at them, it didn't look like it was this ripe. So we're going to do chunks. My husband likes crushed pineapple anyway in his pineapple upside down cakes. So when I open these, I will more than likely be using them for that anyway. And I will put them through my food processor. Okay. Still finding little pieces that aren't completely cut. Okay. And that's fine. They don't all have to be cut up perfectly. All right, I think I pretty much got them all. If I find some, it's no big deal. Throw these in with my scraps. All right. So what I'm gonna do first with these is I'm going to cut them like this, and I need another bowl. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to scrape them with a spoon and see how that works. And it's going to be super messy, obviously. And I'd like to get, hopefully, I'll get a couple of half pints or pints of pineapple jam out of this. Actually, I could probably take a knife and get some of this off. My daughter just showed up and she's eating my pineapple, so I have to hurry because otherwise I won't have any pineapple left.
Whoops, you recorded me screaming I passed too.
That's okay. I'm so proud of my daughter, y'all. She just finished her master's in social work. She went and took her registry exam today. She was nervous, but she did well. She passed. First time. Yay. So, we need to celebrate. What do we need to do? I can't stop what I'm doing, but we can celebrate. Oh, we got quite a bit. Look at that. So I'm going to try some pineapple jam with that. I may only get a couple of half pints, but you know, we'll try it. We'll be back. So what I'm going to do is, I'm sorry y'all, I'm getting my teaspoon out because I'm bad about not getting my supplies out. I'm going to use just lemon juice and water. And I'll save the juice from the pineapple to do jam, because I think I do have enough to do jam. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this in here. I'll add my lemon juice once I figure out if I've got enough. Now I would do this between, I would say probably 1 inch headspace to a 1/2 inch headspace. Most of my fruit, I think the fruit that we do, and I'm cold packing, sort of. I sterilized my jars. Well, I sanitized them and sterilized them. And so, but they've cooled off a bit, so this is really kind of cold packing. I think the USDA guidelines recommend hot packing, but I don't want my pineapple mushy. And I'm afraid if I hot pack that over time it will become mushy. And I do see some that didn't get chopped up, so, but that's okay. So now bear in mind this was 6 pineapples and with some wastage. So it looks like I may get 7 pints. Or maybe even 8, we'll see. Maybe 8. Wipe the rims. You know, you can use water. I just prefer to use vinegar. Okay. Oh. So I just dampen my paper towel with a little vinegar and just wipe around the rims and just on the outside, because I don't like my rings to stick to any juice. And this just makes sure that all of the, I mean, you're not dealing with oils, so more than likely everything is going to seal, but it's just an extra precautionary measure that I like to take. All right. So we will screw them on finger tight. Now, I'm going to use my pressure cooker, but I'm not using it as a pressure cooker. And I'm not even going to water bath. I'm actually going to steam can. In order to pressure can in this, you've got this little release valve and this little release valve, and then you need the weight on it to pressure can. To steam can, you need this valve and this little release rubber plug, and you can steam can in it. Now to water bath, you just take that plug out and then you can water bath in it. So that's the difference. So that's why I love my Presto. So what I do, these are not hot, but they're not super cold. So I'm gonna put them down in here, and then I'll add my water. And when you're steam canning in the pressure cooker, you just put the amount of water that you would normally use to pressure cook. And that is, this is my coffee, what I put water in my coffee pot with. It's 1.5 of these. So I'll get some water. So we will put the lid on it, and we will turn it up and let it come up to a boil. And I'm gonna double check the times and we'll be back. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with the crowns. And what you wanna do, when you twist them off, you actually preserve the stem. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take enough of the leaves off. Let me see if I can get something to put these in. So you're gonna peel enough leaves off, about 1 inch or 2. Put my glasses on so I can see. So you can see where these have actually already started making roots. I don't know if you can see that or not. Those are little roots that have already started. So we're gonna take about 1 inch of the leaves off. And hopefully not destroy those roots that have already started. It's interesting that these have already started rooting. It's actually good. It's probably why they were so ripe. And so this, you could probably just take this and put it in the ground, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna stick it down in a jar with some water and let those roots get hydrated well, because, you know, they're not, it's been, I'm sure, sitting in a ship and barge, whatever, and also in a truck. So then you're gonna take this, and I usually use the wide mouth jars. You don't know. I usually use the wide mouth pint, but I mean, I've got this handy. So you just put some water in there to where it just covers the bottom of the crown. And then I put it in my living room, in my rooting and seed station, because I have a seed starting station with grow lights. Okay, so I'm gonna go put that out here. So I'll take this big one here. You're not gonna have roots starting on all of them. Like I said, I'm gonna have to get these, while they're rooting, they're fine to go, to stay inside, and even through the cold weather. Although if you put them in pots, I would recommend putting them under grow lights or in a south facing window. Ah, that one has a little root on it. Just an itty bitty one. Right there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Oh, that's okay. Ah, there's another one. So this one has 2 little roots. The other one had quite a few roots on it. That's okay. I don't need many. So you need to check the water in there every so often to make sure that the water is covering the bottom of the stem where the roots are. And I'm out of jars and glasses, so I will continue on. And my canner is coming up to temperature. So it will start steaming just like it does when you pressure can. So as it comes up to temperature, it will start steaming and you will have a vent out here. And that's how you know you're steam canning. And we'll be back when it comes up to temperature. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's coming up to temperature because the steady steam is coming out of the vent. So I set my timer to 15 minutes. And let it process there for 15 minutes. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit because I want it to stay good and hot. It's almost like you're pressure canning, but you're steam canning. So, all right, we'll be back when it finishes. Okay, so I've let it kind of calm down a little bit and it's not steaming anymore. So we're going to just take the lid off just a bit and let it vent naturally for about another 5 minutes. And now I'm going to mix up the stuff I need for my jam and jelly. So I've started using Pomona's pectin, which I've really been impressed with. And when you buy Pomona's pectin, you come with this instruction sheet. And it seems like a lot, but it really isn't. Now, I like to go on this side that talks about low sugar. I am a pre-type 2 diabetic, so it's getting important to me to watch my sugar intake and my eating habits. So, hence the 43-pound weight loss. So anyway, it says to prepare the calcium water. Now, when you use Pomona's pectin, you use the pectin, but you also use the calcium water. And apparently it activates the pectin. But I've not had any really bad results with Pomona's. So that's what we're going to be using today. All right. So it's cooled down just a bit. So we're going to take the lid all the way off. I like to do this. It kind of prevents siphoning. And I've just gotten so used to doing it with my pressure cooker or pressure canner that's what I do. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Very pretty. So when you take them out, you want to pull them straight up. Don't tilt them. And just put them over. You already hear them popping. Love that sound. All right, we got 8 pints out of six pineapples. So that's good. All righty. So now I'm gonna let those cool, and you will probably hear them popping as we finish the video. So you put 1/2 teaspoon of calcium powder and 1/2 cup water in a lidded jar. So let's see, a measuring cup. These have measurements on the sides, so I'm going to the 1/2 cup line right there with some water. And just A little bit more. Okay. And now I need a half teaspoon. This is a teaspoon, but I can change it to a half. I love these measuring spoons. So here's my calcium. So I need to open it far enough I can get my teaspoon in there. Put that in there. I almost did not find my calcium. So I put it back. And then you just cover it and shake it. So I've got my big pot up here. You get my big measuring cup. Let's see how many cups of pineapple I have. I like chunky jam. So whatever is in there. All right, that's actually pretty good. That's right at 4 cups. Yay! So we got 4 cups of pineapple stuff. Good deal. All right, so I'm gonna heat my oven up again. Get my jars in the oven to dry and heat up. And what I typically do is I set my oven on 200. I think that's as low as it'll go. Put these in here as the oven is preheating. That way you don't get any temperature shock. Prepare fruit or juice. Measure fruit or juice into pan. Add lemon or lime juice if called for a recipe. So we got 4 cups. And then over here is the recipe for pineapple. And I've got a tear there. Oh no. 4 cups of mashed fruit, 1/2 cup to 1 cup honey, or 3/4 cup to 2 cups sugar. So what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna make this one with honey. I have bees. So I have my own honey, and I have honey from everybody else in the world, it seems like. So I think we're gonna go with a 1/2 cup of honey. So we're gonna pull out my honey. And just spray it lightly with some oil. Pour a 1/2 cup, because I don't want this super sweet, and I'm trying to switch over to natural sweeteners, so I'm using a lot of my honey and a lot of Bruce's honey at Bruce's Bees. And then, okay, it says add proper amount of calcium water into pan. So it says 2, I think that's teaspoons, yes, 2 teaspoons. There's 1 and 2. I need to mark that and put it in the refrigerator. And then it says measure sugar or room temperature honey into separate bowl. Thoroughly mix proper amount of pectin powder into honey or sugar. And this calls for 2 teaspoons of pectin. So here's my Pomona's pectin. So I want 2 teaspoons. We're going to mix it with the honey. I think I was short a little bit there. It almost looks like creamed honey. All right, bring fruit or juice to a full boil. So we're going to turn this bad boy on high. And we'll be back when it comes to a boil. All right, so while we were doing that, an afterthought, and I decided I wanted to make this pineapple jalapeno jam. So we're going to do some sweet and hot. I did some mango jalapeno jam last year, and it was fantastic. Now, you ask, what are you going to use hot pepper jam with pineapples in it? Well, oh my God, that smells amazing. All right, so we're gonna let those were frozen. Add the honey. Pretty much slide it out. Once you put a little oil in your measuring cup, and then you bring that back up to a boil. And wow, this smells amazing. Amazing. It says add the pectin and sweetener, stir vigorously 1 to 2 minutes to dissolve pectin while mixture returns to a full boil. So we're going to stir this for 1 to 2 minutes. And I'm going to fill those up. So if you want to add the peppers, make sure you grind them up good. Now, my family likes stuff hot. So we actually, I leave the seeds because we like spicy stuff. All right, so it says fill them to 1/4 inch. So you give it a 1/4 inch headspace. Jeez, okay. All right. And again, you wipe the rims. Fill it with water. And I didn't need my wide ones, so now that eye is still hot. So I have to be careful. And this is very hot. Finger tight. All right, so move that over so I can try that. Is you can use any kind of big saucepan, and You don't even have to have a rack to put on the bottom. You can simply fold up a towel. I remember seeing my nanny do this many, many times. So I'm going to show you how to water bath this. But I have a rack, so I'm going to use it. This little rack came with my Nesco. And I could pull out my Nesco, but I'm just going to show you how to do a simple water bath using regular cookware. And it should do fine since I have a small batch to put in there. Now, when you put hot jars, you want to make sure you got hot water. And that's hot enough. So you just place those in there. Now I'm going to need more water. I covered it by an inch, so we're good. All right, so I'm gonna get my lid. Oop, wrong one. There it is. All right, so we're gonna turn that up to high. So I got just a regular saucepan, 4 little jars. Cover your jars by 1 inch to 2 inches. And then let's see, it says 10 minutes. So I guess that if it doesn't tell you under here, you go by these directions, which says 10 minutes. Add 1 minute more for every 1,000 feet. And we are below 1,000 feet, below sea level or above sea level. But we're below 1,000 feet above sea level, if that makes sense. But anyway, it tells you on the different fruits here. That's what I like about Pomona. It gives you all of the processing times. And if it doesn't state it, you just go with 10 minutes. So 10 minutes. All right, so it's starting to come to a boil. So we're going to give it just a couple more minutes to come to a good rapid boil. So I'm taking this opportunity to calibrate my candy thermometer. I was having a bit of issues with it the last time I made jam, and I wanted to see if it actually is at 212 degrees. So my thermometer is off by about 2 degrees, but it's up to a nice hard rolling boil, you can see. So we'll let it boil for 10 minutes with the lid on. I'm going to turn it down just a hair because it'll continue to boil like that as long as you turn it down. So I cover it with the coffee filter, and I just cover it with the band. And what I'm going to do is right on there, maybe PV 12/8/22. So what you're going to do is every day you're going to stir this. And in a few days we should see, so you're going to open it every day and then you're going to stir it. So after a few days you should start seeing some bubbling on the top up here, and that is the process of the fermentation. And if you don't see that, then we'll add a 1/4 cup of sugar. Well, there. Okay, isn't that pretty though? So I first started watching Lead Farmer making vinegars out of scraps, and I love his channel. And I also watch a couple of other channels. Mary's Nest, Rain Country. Here we go. I'm going to put those over here. Those are so pretty. They look kind of Christmassy. Isn't that pretty? It's already popping. All right. Oh, hello. And that's all there is to it. You let them cool. They will gel. And then I will probably put what I'm going to do next with scraps into a different video. Anyway, thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to be doing more canning videos. I do a lot of beekeeping videos, but I want to get more into the canning videos and also different parts of homesteading. I live in the inside city limits, and I'm still homesteading, and it can be done. We're not 100% self-sufficient, but we're better than we were. Have a great day, and God bless.